Been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
Back to a wonderful Thursday evening.
It doesn't matter what time it is.
I'm not going to give the time this time because you made fun of me last time, but Yankees won an amazing game last night. I feel like Frazier's time is definitely here to shine.
I think they listened to the podcast.
Yeah, no, we talked
They
about trash
must
Gary
listen to the
Sanchez, and then he goes
podcast.
off.
Because he had one hit. Well, he
Oh,
didn't
one
go
hit.
off. He had one hit. You know, the thing is he has 6 hits in how many games, and Frazier has 3 in 1.
I know, I still want to trade him.
Yeah.
I do definitely believe it is Frazier's time. He had an astonishing debut. His first at-bat, home run. I love his new stance. He has those amazing quick hands of his that he's blessed with, and I think he's truly, like when he said he feels like he's the best right now that he's ever been, I believe that. You see his stance. You see the way he's approaching the plate. I mean, 2 for 3 with a double, 2 RBIs.
Well, we'll jump into the Yankees later. Hopefully Mike's going to call in and talk Yankees with us. But the first thing I want to talk about is these masks. I got to go to COVID for a second. We haven't talked COVID in a while. Duke University has been doing a study on all these masks that are out there. There's so many different varieties of masks out there. And you see Clint Frazier as one of them that are wearing those polyester spandex
They're comfy.
masks. According to Duke and their study, those are the worst masks that you can be wearing. They don't protect you. They're not good at all. Matter of fact, they say that the holes in them are so fine that when you cough or you sneeze into them, it actually takes the COVID particles that come out of you, breaks them down into even smaller particles, and allows them to live longer in the air.
When I have to sneeze at work, I go to a corner.
First of all, I wouldn't sneeze in my
And I
mask.
pull
That's
my
gross.
mask down and I sneeze into my elbow. Does it tell you on there what is the best mask?
The N95 mask, which most doctors wear.
The ones
And-
that
and-
not many people have.
And they're saying those like cloth masks, whatever, are the
about
best 2 masks out there.
I wonder how the standard issue ones are that a lot of people give you at work. Like our work has those just regular ones that you deposit after one day. You can throw them out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm to the point now where I'm wearing one of those like old style hankies I turned into.
I wear
like
bandanas
it's,
a
it's a
lot.
bandana, but those are actually hankies back in
I
the
wonder
day.
if that's good or not.
I don't know. I'm just to the point where I'm so sick and tired of wearing these damn things. I don't even want to deal with them anymore. But I did see a website that we could actually make masks and put our little logo on them.
I never get to wear my glasses because it's like impossible to find a mask where your glasses always have a chance of fogging up, and it's very frustrating trying to wear a mask at work with your glasses. So I never wear them.
Well, along with COVID, we talked about this yesterday that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten have said no, they're not playing. And I said about Nebraska was talking about going to another facility, another conference, whatever, and they wanted to play. And they interviewed Kevin Warren, who's the Big Ten. He's the commissioner of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And they asked him about what's going on with Nebraska, and he just basically said that they could either shut up or they can get out of the division. They have
What he means by they can either shut up.
stop talking crap about the Big Ten and about what's going on. The safety of the student is more important than anything else right now. Yeah. You know, the thing is you have to understand something, and I understand all these coaches are coming out and they want to play. The coaches are making millions of dollars a year.
Kids aren't.
These kids aren't. And you have to look at the safety. I mean, there's doctors out there. I just read an article. There's doctors out there from the Dr. Brian Hanlon. He's the chief medical officer. He's basically saying that there should be no fall sports. There's no way. They're saying that 1% to 2% of all athletes at NCAA schools who have been tested so far have tested positive for COVID. And then there's another study down below. The lady said that this is basically we're on the Titanic and we just hit the iceberg, and now everyone's trying to come up with an idea of what to do. And they're saying that 20% of these kids that are getting COVID, they're getting this heart disease. I can't even pronounce this word, myocarditis. It's a heart disease that could actually end up killing you. It can cause cardiac arrest and kill you.
A lot of kids are trying to get that.
Yes, there's a 20% chance these kids are getting it. And now they're saying that when you get this, you have to
COVID?
when you get this heart disease, you have to rest for 3 to 6 months. And then go through some kind of a testing later on with imaging, and then like exercise where they check your heart for rhythms.
No activities.
Yeah, but
No
this
sexual activities.
this is nothing that gets the heart elevated. But this is crazy. I mean,
I would love to.
the more you think about it, first of all, they can't do spring. There's no way if they do spring football, it's not going to work.
No, you got a lot of kids that aren't going to do it.
No, because you're going to have, like we talked yesterday,
draft.
you're going to have these kids that are going to be first and second rounders that are going to be screw it, we're not playing. And like I said, XFL all over it. But these coaches like Dabo Sweeney, whatever his name is, the coach from what's the hell's his name? The coach from Clemson, coming out and saying that it doesn't matter if the Big Ten and then going to drop out. If we win a championship, there's no asterisk. You're putting yourself in front of the health of the kids.
You are, man.
You really are. You're getting $1 million plus
And I get
$6 million paid check, whatever you're getting paid.
There's a
And
lot of
these
kids that
students-
want to play too, which sucks.
These students are going to get screwed. Either way. Either way.
I would love to get the COVID test, not the nose ones, maybe the throat one, just to see if I had it.
No, what I would want to do
Just to see if I
is
had it.
I would want to get the blood test. The blood test is the one that sees if you have
Okay.
the antibody, and I know you'll pass out. But if you get the blood test, it sees if you have the antibodies. First of all, you know what? I wanted to have my wife on today, and she said no, absolutely not. She doesn't want to talk on a podcast. She doesn't want to be on video. We got to thank and continue to thank the frontline workers
Who've been
that
there
are out there, the
nonstop since
doctors,
everything
the
that's going
nurses, everyone that's been out there since day one. You know, it seems like since sports has come back, no one's really talking about COVID about as far
not
as
really.
numbers, what the numbers are. I mean, we're over 5 million cases now, but no one's talking about the frontline workers, man. We need to continue to support them, applaud them, because every day, and I know the stresses that my wife goes through, every day they have to deal with this. There's no turning it on, turning it off. No vacation days. You're in there. You're dealing with it.
No. And we want to congratulate all of them.
Absolutely.
I'd actually, as much as I don't like get blood done, I want to know if I had it. And just be like, yeah, I had it. I survived. My kids in 20 years, hey, did you have that? Yeah, I did. I didn't have it bad, but I had it.
The test has changed. It's not all the way up scratching the back of your brain now. Now it's just like the front of the nose. Yeah. But, the thing that scares me the most is they want everyone to go back to school. They want these younger kids to go back to elementary school, high school. But
I think our governor just actually, I think it was our governor, Jersey's governor, said we're letting them go back. Like, there's no doubt. And I said
there's
today,
schools that have outbreaks already.
I said today I would start off 2 to 3 days a week, and then all the other days would be virtual. If your numbers stay consistent, not rising, open up a day and then go from there. I wouldn't rush it back.
Well, you know what's going to
every
happen?
day.
It's going to be small classrooms. It's going to be like...
But
it's
how do you divide these classrooms?
by the
up?
alphabet. It's going to go like, say your letter A through L or whatever.
Oh, you know what'd be smart? Same thing you're saying right now. Cut the alphabet in half, right?
Every other day. They'll rotate the alphabet.
Cut the alphabet in half. Yeah, you can do that. Certain kids go to school, certain kids have off, or morning and afternoon shifts. Like A through F or whatever comes in, and they have classes from like
Yeah, you'd have
8
to
to
you'd
10.
have to break it up.
8 to 10, and then the other alphabet comes in,
Yeah, you'd have.
and then you're cleaning the buses in between.
But the thing is this it's such a hard thing to deal with.
It's
now.
impossible
because you know what?
to avoid.
The thing
It's
that's-
impossible.
The thing that's funny is before spring came, they're like 65 and older. 65 and older. That's the only ones you have to worry about. If you have diabetes, if you're overweight, stuff like that. As soon as spring break hit, it's like this shit transformed into something else, man.
Yeah.
And now there's a different strand, and it's affecting the young
I feel
people.
like the young kids are like, oh, we're not gonna get it. I still think the older people are more of a threat. I think young kids can get it, and they are. You see the stats. I just don't think young people are as much of a risk to die than older people in the world. I know there are new trends now and new different strains of it where you're seeing like babies struggle. I would hate to have a baby right now in this time and age.
Well, Marissa just went through it.
Yeah.
Just could you imagine? Just going to the hospital.
And then say
I
you
wouldn't
have
want to go to the
then
hospital.
say you have a baby and they're like, hey, we got to do all these tests. I wouldn't want my baby to go through all those tests, all the needles, all the tests. I mean, getting stuff shoved up the nose, like that'd be terrible for a newborn.
Yeah, but that's the way of the world right now. I was looking at next year's our 25th wedding anniversary, and I was hoping to go overseas again, to do the things that we want to do before we we bite the bullet, because eventually we're gonna get old and die. But if they don't open up the country, man.
Are we even allowed to leave the country right now?
I don't think so. I don't think nothing's open
I heard
yet.
some people have gone to Puerto Rico. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I'm sure Puerto Rico and places like that are still part of the United States.
Oh, that's right. What is Puerto Rico considered now?
It's like the 51st state or
I don't.
something. like
Didn't
that.
we didn't we look this up? I don't think it's a state.
Dude, I don't know. It's like...
I don't want to sound stupid on the air right now.
No, it's too late. We both already do.
Puerto Rico is something. I remember we looked this up the one day.
They're not the state, but we're affiliated with them, just like the Virgin Islands.
Let's look at
There we go. We're gonna learn something new tonight.
It is unincorporated U.S. territory. That's all I see. I remember, didn't they want to make Puerto Rico the 51st state? Here, is Puerto Rico part of the USA? The political status of Puerto Rico is that of an unincorporated territory of the United States. As such, the island of Puerto Rico is neither a sovereign nation nor a U.S. state. It's just U.S. territory, I guess, now.
Yeah.
Did we just take that over, or like what happened there? Like what happened there? I didn't see the news for that.
We're not opening up that can of worms. But
Well, no, wait, wasn't another one? Maybe one thing of Cuba. Wasn't Cuba really trying to become part of the U.S.? I know Puerto Rico always was.
well, Cuba, they're trying to get away from how they used to be. Like we never used to have really good relationships with Cuba.
Isn't it like when you go to Cuba?
Yeah, we just talked about this the other day about JFK and the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Cuba like when people? I used to see like Instagram photos stuff that like when you step on Cuba, it's like stepping back in time.
Oh yeah, they still have old cars
Because
and everything
like
down there.
they don't really have that great of like what's the shipment and everything that they have in because
Import, export.
because they don't have a lot of allies, right? Aren't they still like shaky with a lot of people?
No, they have I don't want to say a new dictator. They have a new leader down there now. Things have changed.
Is it a dictatorship over there?
We're allowed to take trips to Cuba now. Before we couldn't.
Yeah,
You know, you could
it's
like
dangerous.
they're getting to the point now where they're gonna let Cubans come play baseball in America, which is gonna open up the market.
Is it a dictatorship there? Like what kind of?
It used to be. It used to be, not anymore.
But I saw photos, man. Like you go there and it's like it looks old school. It looks like the 70s.
Oh yeah,
and
they
80s.
still have
It
the
looks
old
cool.
1940, 50 cars down there, and I would
looks
love
beautiful.
to be stepping back in a time machine.
Imagine like hopping on one of those cars, driving around the beach.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's some awesome stuff. I saw that. I thought that was pretty sick.
But some other NFL news came out. The Dallas Cowboys, we talked about it yesterday. They're
Huge.
They're gonna do pods.
Huge.
Oh, I'm not talking about the signing.
Okay,
yet.
I didn't know that.
They're talking about the whole pod thing. They want to have fans, and
Well, we talked about Dallas and the
it's
Saints.
it's gonna happen. Like the Chiefs, New England, Dallas, the Saints.
The Saints aren't doing just announcement yesterday. Right when we got off the podcast, New Orleans Saints are not having fans for opening day.
Okay, for opening day, but they're trying to come up with a plan where they can have pods where you can get groups of 15 to 20 to 25 to 30 people and put them in sections. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And
What they could do is,
Like-
you know how baseball has, like, for most of their seats, they have advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if people in this section, then next to them is advertisement, so they can't mingle with certain people.
well, they want to set it up where you would have enough people in there where they would have their own concessions, they'd have their own bathrooms and stuff like that. Where like I've never been to Dallas, but the way they're talking about in Dallas, it's almost
Like, rope everything
impossible
off
for you
almost.
to walk from one side of the stadium to the other without going up and down.
They
steps.
should, like, do
They can
colored
close it off.
sections. Like, if you're in color red, you can only use the color red bathroom.
Yeah, I mean they could do something like that.
That's
But
going to be very interesting.
We just talked about the
Dallas
the
and
Dallas
Saints
the
doing
Dallas
the hotel thing.
No, the Dallas soccer team. They actually had their first.
Gotcha.
Dallas is allowing fans, so they just had their
yeah.
first home game, and they allowed. Oh God, I don't even know how many fans were in there. Several thousand fans were in there. They had to sign a waiver.
I was very confused about why they were playing, and I guess they didn't get to participate in the tournament.
No, because they were the one team where they tested negative outside the bubble, but as soon as they got inside the bubble, they started having an outbreak.
You're talking about soccer, right?
They sent them home. Yes.
Yeah, they didn't get to play in the tournament. That's what I just said.
I'm gonna hold up cue cards from now on. You know.
But what I was saying is I was confused why they were playing because the finals ended,
yeah.
but they're letting them play because obviously.
Yeah.
Do you know a lot of people booed them?
I don't know.
Well, I don't get
I don't
it.
know.
won't
I
get
didn't
into
watch it. But anyway,
I didn't watch it, but I just
see,
heard some bad
it's
stuff.
going to come down to your state because Washington just said no, absolutely not. Philadelphia, no. You know, New York, New Jersey, they're all like no fans. I haven't heard anything about Buffalo yet, so it's going to go.
Buffalo's in New York.
I know, but they didn't say Buffalo said no fans yet. They said Giants no, and they
So
said
it's going
Jets
by, is it
no.
going by the ownership or is it going by the state?
I think it's going to be state.
Because if it's going by the state, if the Yankees aren't allowing fans, the Bills probably won't allow fans.
Well, they have multiple governors in New York. I mean,
Do
different. Yeah, it's so big.
It's a different. Yeah.
But see, the thing is like
I feel like
Texas.
we're learning a lot today.
MLB said no fans at all.
Yeah.
Where Texas could be having 50% occupancy down there now in their new stadium. You know, Korea is allowing fans. I just think, look,
I would do it once a week
I
and see
we're
if
to the
anything
point now-
changes.
We're to the point now. You allowed people to go to the beaches. You allowed people to go to bars. You allowed people to do all these things. If they want to wear a mask, they want to risk it. Let them go. Let him go. Make him sign a waiver where you can't sue the NFL, you can't sue the MLB, you can't sue NASCAR, soccer, whatever. If you want to take it and you want to risk it, go.
If you're allowing people in Florida and Texas to have a risk, going to I don't know. Texas shut down a lot, but like Florida,
But you haven't heard anything about Florida or Texas.
Florida was rising there for a little bit. Now it's like you don't hear anything. It's in the wind.
But that's what I mean.
So
all of a sudden it's like
so it's like if
it's gone. You don't hear about it. It's there.
you know what's weird too is I feel like we're hidden from a lot of the facts. Like doesn't Trump have all the numbers sent to him now, not the facilities? Like isn't there like some weird thing that's going on with that now?
To be honest with you, I have totally checked out of politics.
No, I'm not talking politics here.
I haven't been watching anything as far as the numbers. I used to have the map up every day.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to look at it no more. I just know we hit 5
You
million.
know what I've noticed? If we don't watch the media, I'm not trying to say I'm not cautious about the coronavirus, but I feel like when you watch the media, it scares you and it's like you don't want to do anything. But then you walk around a little bit, you put your mask on, you go to work. It's like, okay, like this is a bad thing, but if I'm taking the right steps, like I can still live a normal life here.
But that's like Chapman. Chapman said when he got the spring training, part 2 of the spring training, he tested negative.
Yeah.
2 days later in camp, he tests positive. And the only symptoms he has, he says, I feel great. I can't taste and I can't smell.
Yeah, most people are asymptomatic. They feel fine.
Yeah.
The Eagles coach, I forget his name, head coach.
Yeah,
Doug
Peters.
He said, I got tested positive.
Sean Payton felt great.
He said, I'm great. Everyone keep your prayers for me, but I'm great.
Yeah.
Some people just, it's like you said, it's Russian roulette. Freddie Freeman, he got it hard.
Yes, he did.
104 fever. He was praying for his life.
But see, I think that like each state's gonna be different. Like Juan Soto, he tested negative 3 times. The MLB said you test negative 3 times, you can play. But Washington said, you're not playing.
Who said you could play?
MLB. The rules are.
Why isn't Washington letting him play?
Because they have their own rules.
But if he tested negative for 3 tests,
It doesn't matter. That's why he sat out so long.
They
don't want a big outbreak.
My thing with Soto though is you have the guy that's been practicing with his team, then he tests positive.
Well, that's because the
So
MLB system sucked.
No, I know, but I'm saying you think he tested positive literally minutes before the game, so you got to think his whole team was already infected. Not necessarily, but he's with teammates, you're high five and them. So it's like, okay, the guy tested negative 3 times. Why can't he come back now?
Well, look at St. Louis. I mean, they've only played 5 games.
And they were supposed to come back, and now their coach tested positive.
They have 16 people that tested posive.
Yeah,
and they want to play.
That's their fault.
They want to play. I mean, they just had what's his name, John Mazaliak. He just came out and said we have 16 players. They're testing everyone daily, and they're starting self isolations.
That's yeah. The thing with St. Louis that bothers me is that was their fault. St. Louis actually just made an MLS team. Just got that just got announced yesterday that they're gonna be making an MLS team. That was pretty cool.
It's gonna get big in the United States.
I'm hoping
it really is.
I'm hoping.
And then you have the idiots in Cleveland. I mean, what the heck's his name? I just wrote it down somewhere.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
baseball?
Cleveland pitchers. Zach Plesac and Mike Clevenger.
Oh, yeah, I heard you talking
They
about that.
broke the team curfew. They went out to dinner after a game and had a group of friends around. And then Plesac lied about it. He acted like he wasn't even there. He flew back with the team after Clevenger. They sent a car for him to isolate him from the team. Plesac flew back with the team.
Stupid.
And now, and the biggest thing is one of the other pitchers came out, Adam Pluko. He came out and said, they lied to us, and they could have hurt us.
Let me tell you, if I was a player on that team and I found out that they both went out to eat and then he came on the plane with us, I'd be like, you better get him off this team. Because number one, if I have a family back at home that I want to see, that you don't get to see a lot, and I might be exposed now to like my baby girl, whatever it is, I'd be furious because you're selfish and you wanted to go out to eat even though you know that we have rules, you can't go out and eat. And it's people like them that are causing these outbreaks.
Well,
you saw it with St. Louis when they went to the casino.
Terry Francona, the manager, he came out and said they have trust to earn back, and they're going to have to earn it. I mean me personally, I don't. I would have started
a fight.
Let me see what Cleveland's record is real quick.
I would have started the fight, man.
Cleveland's 10-9. They're only 2 games out. You could ruin not only a player's career because if they get that heart issue like that guy from the Red Sox has. But you could ruin the freaking organization. I mean,
you could have turned your team into the Marlins.
Is it worth it going out to have dinner after a game because you want to go outside the so-called bubble that they have in Cleveland and break the rules? Is it worth it at the end of the day?
Let's bring up that kid's name that we were talking about for Seattle. That's another situation we can throw into. What's his name?
Oh, the football player who dressed his
Kama
girlfriend.
Sivaran, however you say his name. We're gonna break it down right now. This guy, what is it? Oklahoma State undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
So you worked hard in college. You didn't get drafted, but you get that golden
Probably
chance.
your only opportunity.
You get that golden chance that people would die for. Is you got drafted. I mean, you got undrafted, but you got picked up by Seattle. $2,000 signing bonus. It was tied for like the lowest in Seattle. Your season didn't even start yet. Training camp just started. You have a young team, possibly could get on. You sneak a girl in who you disguise by wearing Seattle gear.
First of all, how do you disguise a girl?
Tuck her hair in, but with the hat, put a hood on.
But there's cameras everywhere. You came into the team's hotel. Cameras everywhere. They're not stupid.
My thing is, man, you have one chance to get to a pro level that you work and sacrifice so much for, and you blew everything.
You let
Just
the
to have
other
what?
head think for the other head.
Listen.
And there's the problem.
You're going to have, like, what? One night stand with this girl? Let's be real. You actually going to talk with this girl again?
Well, unless he lied to her and said, I'm a professional athlete. I've been playing with Seattle, and she don't know any better. But now
This right here,
But this is what I applaud Seattle.
I applaud. Seattle handled this so professionally.
All the older players,
veterans.
the veterans, they stepped up, and you know what? Team safety is the number one thing.
Seattle got my respect right there because Pete Carroll and the veterans, he said it's the veterans that we have that came out, they stuck up and said we cannot have things like this happen. This guy could have made a massive explosion on this on this team.
He was hoping to have a massive explosion.
But for real, you think about it. This girl, how does he know that she didn't have the coronavirus?
Yeah, you don't know.
And what's another thing too is how do you know he? I'm not trying to get weird though, but they're swapping fluids. She gives it to him. No, seriously though, in a mature level right here, she gives it to him. Next thing he goes to practice, the tape rooms. You just ruined your whole team, and you might have to go and. Who knows what happens?
But that's why the veterans stepped up and they said enough's enough. They're not dealing with this crap, and they put him in his place. I don't know why I haven't. I don't know what's going on.
What happened?
I'm having technical difficulties this week.
Is the phone still recording?
Yeah, but it got dark. But that's fine.
It's okay. I look yellow right now because you moved that light or turned that on. Or it got dark outside. I think it's what it is.
Yeah, we should actually turn the other lights on.
Oh, okay.
It's been a tough week. Yesterday, I had an echo in my ear that sounded like someone was talking back at me.
It was pretty cool.
My phone got knocked down between the recliners and a dog smashed the screen on it, so I can't videotape with that one. It's just been a tough week. But anyway, you know what? The nice thing is the bubble's going to work because the Cowboys have 90% of their team actually in a bubble. They're doing the bubble thing.
My thing with the bubble is, like, you can bubble. They should make it mandatory you got to bubble your team, but, like, it's just when you interact with the other players on the other teams, it's just tough. It's just what it comes down to is, and we've said this multiple times, is you have to be smart. Like, I get it. Some of these guys are young. They got their first money,
But actually,
they want to go to the casino.
The total COVID positive numbers have actually dropped in the football league.
It's good.
Which is good. The NBA has had none.
You know what I'm
Hockey
scared?
has had none.
You know what I'm scared about is I'm scared that the numbers look pretty good right now in the world. I don't know. I haven't seen the stats in a while. But we're getting close to fall. Fall and winter is typically around the time we get the flu.
But that's where it's going to get tricky because you're not going to know unless you get tested whether you have the flu or you have the coronavirus.
My thing with that, too, is I
Hey,
feel
but
like...
Russia has an antibody already.
Yeah, did they?
I'm not taking it.
I'm not going to get either. My thing is, though, like, in the wintertime, many people stay inside. So hopefully people will just be like, okay, let's just stay inside and not go out. Like, come wintertime, I don't really leave the house because it's like, what are you going to do, go outside and play in the snow?
You know what the thing is people don't realize that hundreds of thousands of people die every year of the flu, but you don't hear about it.
Yeah.
Eventually,
this is just going to be a thing where it's like, oh, you got the coronavirus? Oh, man, get better. Yeah. And it's going to be a normal thing.
I think we should just all do one group hug. Hands across America. Hugs across America.
You think about that, though. It's going to, one day, it's just going to, because the flu had to be, when the flu first came out, people were probably freaking out. What is this? It's killing everybody. It got better. One day we're gonna be like, okay, you got the flu or coronavirus. Like, it's just gonna be a normal thing. Like, hey, do you want your coronavirus shot?
I would love to get tested just
to see if I had it.
Just to know.
I want to know. I want to know if I had it.
But like I said, the Cowboys, they actually
because if you have it too, can it reoccur?
Don't know.
Like cancer.
There are some people that say you can get it again and spread it.
See, but when they say can you get it again, like I'm not talking about like get it again from someone else, but like
I don't put enough stock into it.
You know how they say you don't get the flu, that what it is that it always lives inside you, but it sleeps and then it activates. Am I right on that? That's what they say about that, right?
That's like cancer.
No.
Cancers inside.
But
of
don't
you.
they say that about?
They say most people have cancer inside of them. It's just whether it gets activated or not.
Is that real?
From what I hear, I mean, I'm not a specialist. Do we have a doctor on a podcast? Maybe we'll talk to a
But-
doctor.
So you tell me we all got cancer though?
No, I don't know, Ty.
So no, but I was
Anyway.
saying, isn't that what they say with the flu though? The flu that you have it in you always, it stays in a coma stage, and then it just gets activated when you get in contact with it again.
I don't know, but the only thing I hear fans turning the page.
Okay.
Because I don't know, we're not making any sense. I don't know if we have the flu in us. I mean, I know we get the flu shots. They put a live vaccine in you, but I don't know.
That's a different story.
But anyway,
Talk about how Dak took a shot at Garrett. Let's know about that.
what?
You didn't see Dak took a shot at Garrett?
No, I did not.
Dak said that they weren't as smart as they needed to be, and he was comparing Garrett to McCarthy, and there was just some hot stuff going on there. And people were like, man, dude, he wasn't even there to defend himself. You're just going to talk about him.
Well,
like
I
that."
got to tell you, I'm actually impressed with Dakota Prescott. I mean, he showed a lot of leadership skills, a lot of maturity in his the State of the Cowboys press conference they usually have in Oxnard. He answered all the tough questions. He didn't hesitate. You know, he actually said he wants to be a Cowboy for life.
Maybe
And
that's
he
where
knows about the platform of being a Cowboy, what actually helps the Cowboys. It puts, a little bit of negotiation tips on their side now.
Maybe
And
that's
actually,
where he talked about Garrett.
Dak's agent, Todd France, is actually leaving CAA. So it's going to be interesting what happens if
What's CAA?
CAA is
Oh,
the agency. If Dak stays with
Did you hear
him or goes with him. I just got a text message. But it's
Did you
going
hear that random, sound like we were talking? There's a little bit of vibration.
no,
with you.
but whatever.
It's not our week. It's not our week.
It's going to ask it. I mean,
What?
he just did a really, really good job. And I'm shocked by some of the things that he said because, like he said, he wants to be a Cowboy for life.
Yeah.
I would love for the truth to come out though. Like, what happened with you and Jerry on the negotiations? Well, the MFs didn't want to give me the money I wanted or whatever.
I want to know what went down
Yeah.
too because that was a beautiful. Imagine we had Dak on. I think the first thing I asked him, so Dak, why didn't you take that deal? Not gonna ask you anything about the deal besides why didn't you want to take it. I want to know why he didn't take it. I get it. I get that you said he wants that for you, but there's got to be something deeper. Like we didn't see some fine print that he was seeing because that much money someone's offering you don't deny.
Well, he wants the 4 years.
Come on now. Really, 1 year difference is killing you for
Look,
that?
when you get to the dollars and the cents and the years and all the intricacies of the freaking contract, you need somebody smart to break that down.
I'm telling you, man, there
And-
was some fine
look-
print that we weren't seeing because there's a lot of analysts out there that
Look.
were just saying, how do you deny a contract like that?
The money ball is in his court. He can sit back and he can now take the $31 million next year. If they franchise tag him again next year, it'll be $37 million. If they decide to franchise tag him a third time, it's going to be $53 million.
Yeah.
So he's going to make over $120 million in 3 years if they go down that road.
God, that's a lot. That's
So,
all guaranteed, too.
You think of the 109 guaranteed for 4 years or 120 for 3 years. Who's playing smart here? He is.
God,
he is.
Could you imagine? I know I say this a lot, but just imagine signing Chris Klein, that signature. Open up your Bank of America app. $30 million, $40 million. I'd be like, let's see, how much does a truck cost?
I'd coach Hiram Pigs for $150,000 a year.
How much does that truck cost? I can go put that in the deposit. It'd be like GTA.
If you told me that you were gonna pay me $100,000 to go coach baseball for a season, bye.
Could you do it? Could you leave mom?
I'd take her with me.
What's she gonna do? Sit at the hotel and watch every single game with you?
Yeah, she'll get that COVID.
She'll read the books on the stage in her Kindle while you're playing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there comes a greed factor in this. I mean, come on, $100,000 to coach baseball?
Man. Well, 2 tight ends got paid today. One higher, a lot higher than the other. 2 of the best tight ends you could probably say in the game. That would be George Kittle and Travis Kelce. George Kittle signed a 5-year, $75 million contract, $40 million guaranteed for injury. This is where I didn't really understand this part. It's $40 million guaranteed for injury, $30 million guaranteed on the sign-in bonus. So is it like he gets $30 million up front, and then if he gets injured, he gets an extra $10 million or another $40 million? Like, I don't. Like,
First of all, you're not going to get any kind of bonus money for getting injured. It might be for not getting injured, maybe playing a certain amount of games.
Whatever reporter it was, he said $40 million guaranteed injury, and then underneath that said $30 million guaranteed sign-in bonus, like sign-in. So when he signed, he got $30 mil.
Yeah, well, he might have got that. That might have been his signing bonus. So as soon as he signed a contract, he got that money. But
And
as
I'm
far as
guessing,
the
if, and
injury
then
part,
I'm guessing if he gets injured, that's like 10 more. It's guaranteed.
no, you're not going to get $10 million guaranteed if you
I
get
don't know.
injured.
I didn't understand
No,
that part.
You'd have to look into it. It might be he might get an injury bonus, meaning if he doesn't get injured, plays a certain amount of games,
Maybe
he'll get a bonus.
Maybe that's smart. But then you have he's $75 million, which beats Hooper, who got the 4-year, $42 million with the Browns, I believe it was. And then you have Kelsey, who the Chiefs locked in a lot of people. Sammy Watkins took a less deal to stay with the team. He said he did not mind taking a less deal.
Kelsey's deal is going to flip the market for tight ends.
No, he already got his deal.
I'm saying people are going to want more money now.
Kelsey got four. Oh, you mean for Kittle?
No, what was Kelsey?
Kelsey got 4-year, $57 million.
Yeah,
And Kittle got $575.
so the market went up for tight ends.
Oh, and everyone
so
knew
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
Everybody
It's
knew
going
that.
to flip the market now.
My thing is though is, besides Kittle, obviously Kittle and Kelsey are top tight ends, and you have Hooper who got paid. What kind of tight ends you really got? I mean, Gronk's making like what, $9 million. He's not making that much. He came back from retirement, but I don't think this is going to change the tight end market because you don't see a whole lot of crazy good tight ends really right now.
No, not yet. But you're going to have.
It's
guys
rare.
Like,
You never saw in the past 10 years.
If Evan Ingram stays healthy, I mean, he's a good tight end.
He's got to stay healthy though.
You're gonna have some good ones. Blake Jarwin, if he can stay
You
healthy.
always- but you always
Blake Jarwin
have-
is starting out with like $3 million this year, but
You always have like these decently good tight ends, but like a Kittle, a Jimmy Graham in his prime.
You don't have to be good
Those
anymore,
are
though.
rare guys, though.
you don't have to be good anymore. I mean, look at this quarterback money. I mean, you don't have to be good anymore to get big money.
No.
You have to have the right agent.
Kittle's contract, they were saying, is top 10 wide receiver money. Think about how crazy that is. He's performing better than most wide receivers that are getting paid.
And then the Cowboys shocked everyone last night and made a
A
signing.
huge signing, in my opinion. That gives you an A on this offseason.
Let me tell you what. It's a great deal for Dallas. It's 1 year, $3 million. If he makes the roster, he gets another additional $3 million. So
Let's
it's
be
1
real.
year, $6 million.
There was a couple
Okay.
other teams in Seattle, Minnesota. They were probably offering him a little bit more.
My thing is why didn't anyone else pick him up? Why did it
a
take?
lot of teams were interested in him. He just wasn't talking to anybody.
I don't understand that. I mean, this guy was making $14 million a year.
Maybe he didn't know if
He
he wanted to come back.
He
or
got
not.
opt out. He opted out of Minnesota. He had some trouble in 2018
with alcohol.
with alcohol.
Maybe
and they
he
said has
opted
a couple
out, thinking he could get a bigger deal. Realized Corona happened.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great deal. It is. It's a great deal for Dallas. But my concern is what don't we know?
Yeah.
There's always the behind the scene. And look, everyone's making a big deal about Dallas. Sure, we got the fat boys in the middle. We got Poe, and we have
Joe McCoy.
Jerome McCoy.
And you got DeMarcus Lawrence.
But
And now you add
those guys are on the opposite
Everson
side
Griffin?
of 30. So we actually, I mean, don't get me wrong. They're all Pro Bowlers, and we have fat boys in the middle, and we have a great edge rusher who averages about 9 to 10 sacks a season. He had 24 pressures last year on the quarterback, 24 hits.
Yeah.
It's going to make it a lot better for our linebackers now that we have these fat boys in the middle. But for one, we did this last year with Quinn. We signed him to a 1-year deal, and then he had a great season, 11.5 sacks, and look what happened.
Where'd he go?
He left for Chicago.
Where'd you guys get him? You guys got him from Miami, didn't you?
Yeah, and we gave up, and we're going to get a comp pick for him because he was so good. But my thing is we do this all the time. We sign these guys to a 1-year deal, just like Alden Smith. He's back. Sign them to a 1-year deal. They come out and they shine, and all we do is advertise them for the league, and boop, they're gone.
Hey.
They're gone. Could you imagine Alden Smith comes out, and he was amazing. He hasn't played in a long time.
Look at that defense you have now, though.
But could you
That
imagine
one
he comes
year
out and has
might-
like 14 sacks?
That 1 year might be a year to Super Bowl.
I hope so. I hope we play.
I mean, look at
But
the Chiefs.
and don't get me wrong. I think the Cowboys have had the best offseason that I can remember. This is like them signing Charles Haley back in the day. This is huge.
McCoy.
We had a
got
great
him now.
draft. But my
Great
thing
draft.
is man, why can't we lock these guys up for like 2 or 3 years, 4 years?
Maybe it will, because maybe these guys, their eyes will open with knowing everything's happened, that the salary cap might drop next year.
And I know Noah says like, oh, here comes Dad. Same old negativity. But it's not negativity. I see things from a
pick.
different glass than
It's a
you
great
guys.
pick.
Sure, it's a great pick, but why didn't anyone pick him up? Why isn't anyone picking up Clowney? Well, everyone knows he's lazy, but
I think people are trying to get Clowney. I think Clowney is just waiting for them. I mean, Clowney denied the Browns deal. Seattle is very, very intrigued in Clay Matthews right now, just because of the fact
I'm
that.
calling Mike right now.
Okay, well, we'll get Mike on the phone real quick here. Get him on.
Yo,
Yo, what's up, Mike?
what's going on, dude?
Dude, we're recording right now, and we're actually talking about the Cowboys signing Everson Griffin.
Good pick.
Give me a second. Hey, what's going on, man? Sorry, yeah, my daughter's right here with me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Tyler and I were talking about the Griffin pickup, and I said I have concerns about it, not because he's not a good player, but why did it take so long for someone to pick him up?
There's always a backstory that we'll never know, right? And then it comes out, a couple weeks down the road, probably failed a physical. You know what I mean? Something along those lines, where it took
It's a
a little
good
bit of
pickup for
time.
Dallas. It's a good pickup.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you said, it's surprising that it took him a little while to get picked up, but probably failed or
Well, he does have an
Could've
alcohol
got into
problem. He does have a drinking
yeah. I
problem.
was just gonna say that he probably got into some trouble, and that kind of discouraged some teams too. So
He went from making $14 million a season to renegotiating his contract where he can actually opt out, and he opted out of the Minnesota deal. But, just to sit that long, and now Dallas got him for 1 year, $6 million, but it's actually a $3 million signing. It's a $3 million signing bonus, and then it's a $3 million roster bonus if he gets on. Just weird.
yeah, I didn't even get to see the full contract details with that, but I mean, Everson Griffin's a great defensive end, man. So I mean, that's solid pickup for you guys, and that bolts up the Cowboys defense, which is kind of one of the things that were lingering going into the offseason is how are they gonna build their defense? Because we all know the Cowboys have a talent at the offense, especially their offensive line, their running back. They still got Dak for now. So what were they gonna do on defense? That was the biggest question, and that just really bolts that defense up now.
And everywhere I listen, like I listen to 105.3 all day long, and they talk about the Cowboys, and always they're talking about the cornerbacks. That's going to be the weakest link. And I disagree with them. Everyone that they drafted out of college was awesome in college. Chris Richard changed how they played the game. They wanted them to play the player and not the ball. Now they have a whole new regime in there. They want them to be aggressive, play the ball, go get those interceptions. I think that's going to actually be one of our strongest sides of the defense.
Yeah.
They're young, they're
I agree.
fast, they're
I agree.
mobile. And let's face it, Jordan Lewis, Chidobe, they're playing for a contract.
Yeah, and that's usually when players, they usually play it to their full potential right before that contract year, so that does make sense.
I mean, everyone is pumped up. Don't get me wrong. I think they had an amazing offseason. I love Poe. I love Gerald McCoy. I love all those pickups. But they're on the opposite side of 30 now. You know what I mean? They were Pro Bowlers.
Hey, sometimes you get those veteran guys in there, though, man. They give those young guys a push to play better. And
I mean, you have
look at Von Miller and DeMarcus
Griffin's
Ware.
what? 31, 32? You can kind of consider him a veteran Pro Bowler at this point.
Yeah, and then you have Alden Smith, who hasn't played in 5 years.
Yeah, that's going to be a big question. I wonder how he shows up.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying he's in the best shape of his life. I mean, he looks great. But you know what? It doesn't matter how good the shape is. You can't stop time. Wear and tear on your body, man. You're just not the same.
Yeah, especially with football, you're right.
So you think about it. We did get bigger. We did get fatter, but we got older.
Nothing wrong with that sometimes.
Yeah, I don't. There's nothing wrong with that. You need veteran players. You don't really see a ton of. It's not like baseball where you gather up a ton of like young baseball stars and you build up your farm system. And it's like the Kansas City Royals when they went on a couple runs in the San Francisco Giants. Football is completely different. You need some sort of veteran presence to contend, especially during the playoffs, because you only have a few games.
Mike, do you think there's going to be a football season this year? It's kind of tough to see one coming.
Yeah, I think there will be. I just don't know if it's going to finish. I think now with the Big Ten and a couple of the college, the college divisions dropping out, I don't see how the NFL, is alarmed by that. I know college is a different spectrum, and college kids, obviously, they're a little bit more rowdy. Mm-hmm. But I do think the NFL season starts. I just don't know if it's going to finish.
You're gonna have to expand the rosters.
Cold. Yeah, it's going to get cold, and usually with COVID, it looks like it's a little bit more harsh during colder weather. So who knows, man? I'd hope it finishes, but obviously player safety is more important.
And my thing is too is like they're saying that they can start it, then they can stop it, they can start it again. If you get into like say February, man, you're gonna be playing in New York in February. I mean that's gonna be cold as hell.
Yeah, that will be.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, man. I think at that point a lot of the players will start to opt out, and then that's when things get really messy.
Man, Mike, how you think about the Yankees, man? Starting off pretty hot right now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy where we're at. It's to me the concern for us every season is how is our pitching going to hold up. I think offensively, we're always going to have injuries, unfortunately, and we always have guys that are ready to step up. We saw that last night with Clint, right?
Yeah,
And
awesome.
Talkman's been great for us, but I think pitch is really going to be the question again, unfortunately, because
Yeah, every year.
Garrett Cole is what we expect it to be, right? He looks lights out, looks great. His only downfall is the home run ball, but we already knew that.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned a little bit on Paxton. I don't know how you guys feel about Paxton. I don't know if he's
think
hurt, but
I think Paxton.
Lack of velocity.
I think Paxton you can work with. It's Hap, who has like an
Hap's gotta
ERA
go.
of 10 right now.
Well, I've never been a Hap fan. You guys know that, right? I've never been a Hap fan, and especially in New York at Yankee Stadium, he doesn't work.
No.
He's a fly ball hitter.
And Yankee
I
Park's
just-
too
I don't-
small. It's too small for him.
Mhm.
Let me get your opinion on a man that we've been talking about a lot, and that's Gary Sanchez, who's batting 104 and has been having a very, very tough season.
Clint Frazier has almost as many hits as him in one game.
He does. You guys know how I feel about Gary too. It's a love-hate relationship. Unfortunately,
We love to hate him.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's when he does well, but he's more of that power hitter. He's there's not a lot of small ball in him, and I think what the Gary Sanchez that we see now is the Gary Sanchez we're going to see forever. I don't think there's going to be.
I said that the other day. I said if I'm looking towards the future, I think Gary Sanchez is not the guy. His career average is below average in batting average. He led the league twice in pass balls. You have a guy who it's just too inconsistent. I said most catchers they're either going to give you a great defense or a great at bat. And I just feel like you don't get either out of him. Lately.
Sanchez and Andujar would make a hell of a package for a starting pitcher. You can
I'll
go get that
take
Musgrave
that.
guy. Go get that Musgrave guy from Pittsburgh.
Musgrave is great, and he looks good so far. But I think the problem is with the catcher, and you guys know this, the catcher position is such. There's not that many out there. So
I said a
that's
good
why I
trade
think
right
the
now would be
Yankees
Salvador Perez. Salvador Perez batting 311, coming off an injury, only 30 years old. Got a great glove behind home plate.
What was it that he did? He go through Tommy John? Or
No,
what was
last
that?
year I think he didn't he tear something in his leg last year.
I don't remember. I know he just got back. I think yesterday or today.
You have a guy that had tasted the World Series. He's got a great Golden Glove behind home plate. He's smart. He can bat.
But let me tell you,
and the Royals are 7-11. They're clearly in a rebuild situation.
But we just drafted two catchers. One of them's amazing. We have Higgy. Higgy can play. If we sent Gary Sanchez off with Andujar and got Musgrave back, we win that trade.
I think so.
Because Sanchez, I said this last night, Sanchez has lost more games for us than won.
Oh yeah, especially in the postseason, he's just horrendous.
Yeah. So what? You bring Higgy in. He's not going to give you the 25 home runs a season, but he's going to give you line drive base hits, and he's going to drive in some runs. He might bat around 240, 250, maybe 260. So he's another Gardner.
And I said that the other day. I said, as a coach, you have a guy. It's like you're just throwing a guy in the lineup. And what are the chances right now that Gary's going to get a hit? You know what I mean? I feel like I'd rather put Higgy out there and just see what he can do. And this is also why I kind of regret getting rid of Romine, because Romine could hit. He wasn't your home run hitter, but he could hit.
I loved Romine. I thought Romine was great. I loved the energy he brought to the team with Didi. It kind of sucked when he left, but I do agree. I think, but going back to Gary, I don't see how if Yankees fans are waiting to see Gary
Been waiting
get
too long.
better,
Yeah, it's over.
You're going to be I think it's over at this point. The Gary that we see now is the Gary we're always.
It's the Gary you're always going to see.
Powerball or strikeout.
And let me ask you this:
he's a ball or he can't.
Does he look like he's getting fatter every year?
I wouldn't say that.
But he's getting
Well, I
bigger.
don't think so.
He's getting bigger every season.
I'm just tired of hearing every offseason Gary looks better than last year. I guess this is going to be, and then every year we get in there, it's just like the same old Gary.
But the thing is you got to get him out of the catcher's position. You can't put him at DH because Mike Ford and Voit are hot, so you can't give him that position. I think it's.
I would
I
put him
think-
on the bench for a couple games,
Package
clear
Give
his
him the
head.
benefit of the doubt. I think he did get better defensively. I think the last couple games he's kind of looked a lot of balls have passed him. But remember who's throwing at him, right? You got Cole who throws various pitches, and then you got Zach Britton whose sinkers disgusting. Who can catch that, right?
Yeah, but he had 2 pass balls with Montgomery throwing.
Well, Montgomery has a sick slider and a sick curve, and I don't know.
And
I'm
I
just
get
trying
it.
to
I get it. The Yankees
give him the benefit of the
bullpen.
doubt, but
The Yankees bullpen is not the easiest
Let's
to
see,
block.
there we go again. We're finding excuses for Sanchez.
I
He's
feel like that is what
garbage.
we're doing, though. I mean, at the same time, you can sit here and say, you know what, look who's throwing him. But at the same time, he's a pro. He should be able to block that.
I hope the Phillies piss off JT and JT Realmuto leaves.
I think he likes it there.
And the Yankees come in and they pick him off.
I think he likes it too much there.
Yeah, I don't see how the Phillies don't throw the bag at JT.
You have to. And they said they're willing to. They said they're willing to pay him like $75 million or something like that.
And he's worth every penny. He's the best catcher in the league.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I said
so
that
good.
2 seasons ago when I put him up against Sanchez. Nope, I'm done. And I'm sorry, but the Gardy party has to end too. Gardner's another one, man. You got to get these young kids up. This is a sprint to the championship.
Frazier time, baby. It's
time
Frazier
for
time.
Frazier, Talkman. These guys deserve it. They got to play.
Talkman's batting 300. You have Frazier
You
who
know
comes
what,
in and
though?
just.
I like Gardy.
I like Gardy too.
Because he does bring that veteran presence.
Yes.
And he can still field well, and he can run the bases.
But Gardy has, but they have to get on base in order to run the bases. He's got a place in each one of our hearts, and it hurts us to talk crap about him. But
I
dude,
feel like Gardner always starts off a little slow.
you know what? I'm sorry, man. You got to get these young. If you want to win a championship, these are the decisions you have to make. You got to put stuff aside. Just like Jason Witten, the Cowboys said, "No more Witten. It's time for you to go." Look where he ended up with the Raiders.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I don't see how he does well there.
He's not. He's the third. He's the third tight end there. But
Yeah.
you got to cut those strings. Just like Stan, we got to do something with Stan because he can't
You know
stay
what?
healthy.
You know what's so tough with Stan, man, is he was finally healthy this year and he was playing well. He was batting well. He's finally hitting the ball.
They got to stop DHing him. We talked about this last
Well,
night. He sits around too much.
Did you guys hear about this whole new thing about the Trop and their field? How that impacted apparently Stan and Judge, where I guess their turf had a major play in Giancarlo's injury and also the lower stiffness that Judge is experiencing. I don't know if you guys heard about that,
I
but
did not hear that.
yeah, Boone came out yesterday after the post game and said that the field at Tropicana, I guess their turf really made an impact. And they were actually talking about it during the Braves and Yankees game last night, how a lot of people don't like playing at the Trop. They just don't use it as an excuse. But
what's wrong with it?
I guess
it's a bad field.
I guess
It's a
when
bad
you go
field.
from I hear it's a bad field to play on. You're going from grass to turf, and some players just can't adjust to it. But Giancarlo, I don't even know what to say about him.
They're saying with the soft tissue injuries that he has,
It's
that
because he sits around too much.
He needs to be able to run a little bit more. You know, when you have him sit on the bench and he goes out and hits, and he's cold, and he immediately runs.
Well, they said they need to do it to do in football. Put an exercise bike in either the hallway there and let him sit on it and ride. He's got to keep his legs warm.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
Yeah, I agree.
That was a bad trade. You know what? That deal
At the time, it was a good trade, though. He was coming off an MVP
That's
season.
gonna be another Ellsbury trade. It's gonna bite the freaking Yankees right in the ass, and they're gonna be stuck with a lot of money.
At the time, he was an MVP, though.
Okay, MVPs come and go.
They do. They absolutely do.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if he can come back and play the way he was playing
Yeah,
so far
he
this
was
season,
playing really
then-
good this year. We got to give him that.
Yeah, he's been playing really well, especially at that DH position. He's done well.
And I don't know why they didn't put him in the outfield. Like when Gardner was struggling, why didn't they throw him out there in the outfield? Like he plays the outfield well.
But I don't know. It's gonna be tough when you have a guy like a Frazier that's batting.
You cannot
like
sit Frazier right
300,
now.
400.
You can't sit him.
Or you have a Talkman who's batting over 300.
You can't sit Frazier right now. Frazier is going to be a freaking stud on this team.
Yeah, I think Frazier's at this point. He's like, look, I know how many times I've been sent down. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna prove myself, either with the Yankees or show scouts that I'm ready to play. Like starting.
They released more details on that conversation he had with Boone and Cashman, and I think that he's matured so much because before they sent him down, he was asking questions like, how can I make this? Like, how can I work on to get back up here? What is my role here? He was very more mature. He wasn't dissing them on Instagram. He put the mindset in, what can I do as a player to get back up there and stay up there?
He's going to be future trade bait.
No,
I hope not.
That's what the Yankees do
all
best.
Like Clint, but yeah, I think if they don't keep him on the team this year, I just don't see how they don't trade him. It's like Miggy. Miggy at this point, if we get an offer, I feel like we'll trade him.
Oh, I agree.
Here you go, take him. It's
But where does he fit in right now in the team? You think about it.
Nowhere.
Where? Unless they
Just back up
Clint
depth.
or Miggy.
Miggy.
Just back up
I
depth.
think, backup infield depth. I think that's the only place where I don't like him in the outfield at all.
But you have Tyler
No.
Wade for that too. I mean, Tyler Wade's good backup.
He's not a
he
hitter
is,
though.
but Miggy has a better bat.
I definitely would say that.
You know what the Yankees got to do? Trevor Story's a free agent next year. They got to go all in for Trevor Story. You know, he's leading right now in runs with 19 on the season. He's an amazing shortstop. You know, you can put Glaber back at second base. You re-sign DJ LeMahieu to a huge contract. He can be your reserve that plays all over the place. There you go. You got Gio, you got Trevor Story, you got Glaber, and then you got Voit and Ford at first base, and then you have DJ LeMahieu that can play every position in the
I
infield.
mean, if you got Trevor Story, I think I'd let Gio walk and put DJ
No,
at third.
you can.
No,
Did you see the plays
no.
Gio made at third
Gio
base
looked so
yesterday?
good.
Looked like not Don
Listen,
Mattingly. Looked like Greg Nettles came back.
I'm
and he's
not
playing again.
saying I don't like
No.
Gio. It's just like, what are you gonna sit Voit and put DJ at first?
No, DJ
I
will.
wouldn't even-
DJ is going to be that guy that takes and fills different
But
roles.
DJ needs to play every game.
No, he doesn't.
He's so good.
I understand that, but you look at the talent that you're going to have on that field. That'll be amazing. That'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And then you take Andujar and you send him to down to the Texas and pick up Mike Minor.
I don't want Mike Minor. You keep saying that, but I do not
I'll
want
take
a
Mike
man.
Minor in a heartbeat.
He's so old. Like, what's the point
He's
of trading?
not so old. He is
my,
not
my,
old.
My thing.
His
Okay, did you see
prime is over at
you
this
see the
point.
photos? That guy's like gray beard.
No,
What is
he
the
doesn't even
point?
have a beard. What photo did you see of Mike
What-
Minor with a beard?
What is the point of trading a young stud for a pitcher you might get a year and a half, 2 years out of?
a young stud who's going to be sitting down in the minors that has nowhere to play right now?
I don't know. I don't want Mike Minor. That's in my mind.
This is
that's
why
a,
Ty can't be the
no,
GM.
because in my mind that's a Hap or a Paxton deal again.
Yeah, I
it's
agree
not.
with that. Minor's been
I'd
around
rather
for a
give
while.
Miggy up
Minor's
for
had
that
his good years.
Pirates guy. I'd rather get the Pirates guy because he's young.
Musgrave.
Musgrave.
But I'm telling you, then throw whatchamacallit, Sanchez in that trade as well.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, Mike Minor's not bad. He's great the last 2
I'm not
years.
saying
This
he's
year he
bad.
started out slow.
Well,
His
let's
last start
see.
the
I
other day
mean-
was good.
Think about how big Texas Stadium is, though. Also,
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge down there.
Yeah.
people come to New York, and they're fly ball pitchers. But when you come to New York, those are home run pitchers. Then
You know what? I don't know. I just think he's a great lefty. You know, we let Lynn go. Look what happened to him. He's the best pitcher in Texas right now.
look at Sonny Gray.
Yeah, he looks
Sonny
good.
Gray's
He
one of the
likes it
best.
over
Sonny Gray's one of the best pitchers right now.
Well, too, you got to understand, not every pitcher could come to a major city like this. and
No,
pitch
they can't
well.
handle
No,
the media.
Well,
Okay,
Sonny
yeah,
Sonny
exactly.
Gray said that the pitching coach made him throw pitches that he didn't throw a lot. Like, he's mostly a slider guy, and they were having him throw everything but his slider.
Hey, what concerns do you guys have about Judge? I mean, he's batting. He has 9 home runs. He's got 20 RBIs. They pull him out of the game the other day, and then he was a scratch yesterday.
Well, they say he had lower back stiffness, so it's day
I
to
just
day.
hope they don't treat this like when he tore his, what was it,
His pec muscle.
yeah, something last year on the side. I forgot what he tore, but they kind of downplayed it. They said, oh, he'll be back in 3 weeks, and then he was out, 2-3 months. So I hope it's not one of those. Our medical staff needs to get their act together, because at this point, I mean,
Which
every
Judge?
day we
28?
hear
How old is he?
He's
28?
at least mid-20s, I want to
20,
say.
yeah, 27, 28, something like that.
I have this feeling that Judge is going to be the superstar that don't get the big deal.
Well, he's been freaking living off a rookie deal.
Well, the Yankees, they're the masters of that. Gleyber Torres is on a rookie deal. They know how to manage that guys' contracts.
He's 28, yeah. If only it was football where they could be like, I'm sitting out
But
until I get my contract.
You think, man, he should have gotten that big deal already.
Do you think that we would have gave him an extension already?
I don't know who his agent is, but he needs to be kicked in the junk, man.
Maybe they're playing it smart. maybe he's okay with what he's getting.
Well, I mean, he looks outstanding. You know, he's up there with the Mike Trouts this year, and so
Yeah.
we sat him down. He looks great defensively. He looks great. So hopefully it's one of those years where he bounces back. Oh, it was oblique. The oblique was what.
Oblique.
Yeah. So I don't know. Boone's said, hey, we're just gonna rest him because the fields at the trough weren't in his best favor, and we've been playing him every day. And then the next post game,
That sounds like a cover-up.
Yeah, Boone goes, yeah, well, now he's experiencing lower stiffness. I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But the problem is
Those back injuries are tough to get over, though.
He was hot, man. Now you just took him out. Now we play Boston. And you know how that goes. It doesn't matter what Boston's record is. Those are
Oh,
always.
hey, they just got beat by Tampa 17-8
Yeah.
or something. Jesus Christ.
But you know, the thing is Boston comes to town, man. It's just it doesn't matter what the records are. The rivalry outweighs everything.
I get it. Boston looks kind of defeated at this point, though. They don't. I just watched that Tampa Bay and Boston game on and off, and they look like they just kind of want to go. I'm not saying that we're
it's
gonna
just their
wash these
pitching
guys
though,
out, but
because they still have a lot of studs on that team.
they do. Yeah, offensively they got some bad.
Yeah, they don't know pitching.
Like besides Betts,
no
like
Chris Sale and-
like besides Betts, obviously with the pitching staff being injured, like it's like almost identical to the World Series team. Like
Well, no, the pitching's totally different.
Bogarts is
that's
still
why I
there,
said the pitching,
JD.
obviously.
Yeah.
yeah,
What do you think of Charlie Blackmon batting .472?
Dude, he's going off.
he deserves it, man. I like that guy.
He's always been a
great.
good batter, though. He's
Great.
always been a good batter.
I'll tell you, he'll never be a Yankee. He'll never shave that beard.
No,
No,
he
just
grew
like
that.
Dallas Keuchel, right?
Yeah.
He grew that out in the minors, man. Never looked back from it.
Nope, not at all.
I
But
got,
overall, the Yankees, I'm happy. I like where we're at. Tampa Bay's right behind us, so we have to win this series with Boston because I don't see how Tampa Bay slows down. I know they typically do towards the end, but in a 60-game season, I mean they look really good
They
right
do.
now, and they
They
got
do.
solid pitching. So
Their pitching
but
is very
you got to
solid.
look at Baltimore, too, man. Baltimore is like. And you know what? I said they wouldn't win more than 10 games. They already won 9.
they got a better record than the Phillies, and that's who they're playing
The
right
Marlins,
now.
I think, are still in first
It's
place.
crazy.
Oh, yeah, the Marlins.
Are-
Yeah, the Marlins
oh,
are.
by percentage, right?
Yeah, they're 8-4. They're 1 game up on the 11-9 Braves.
That's the thing about this season. I think they're not going by rec. I think
They're
going
not.
By
They're going
win
by the
percentage.
percentage because not everybody's going to play the same amount of games with the like. Take St. Louis for instance.
Oh,
They're not
boy.
gonna.
Do you know what the team that really surprised me? The Cubs. They got a 5.5
going
game
off.
lead already.
They are
12-3. Milwaukee is 7-9. You know what? The thing is there's a lot of teams, man, that they're struggling. The strikeouts per team are it's like 18
You know, I
batters.
called
18
this.
batters per game is the strikeout level right now.
I called this. I said it's a 60-game season, and you think about how many teams take a while to get hot.
Well, look at all the big name pitchers that are having problems. Dead arm, velocity issues. Paxton, Happ, Montgomery.
I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a crazy season because you think about last year, the Nationals were one of the worst teams in the league, and then second half of the season, they got hot, went to the World Series. You're having the Milwaukee Brewers. The Padres seem like they're hitting home runs every game, but they're not winning. But you have these teams that have so much talent, but like the Angels have so much talent.
Dude, the
They're
NL
just
West
not
is the
hot
best
yet.
is the best race right now. I mean, you
know.
got Colorado, the Dodgers, and San Diego all a game and a half apart.
I said that the other day.
And and San Francisco's only 5 games out.
It's going to be a very interesting finish, and I'm excited to see it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it just sucks for those teams that for example, teams that haven't won, 7 or 8 games at this point. I think once, you by next week, if you don't have at least 10 wins, you're almost you can count yourself almost out of it, right? Because then we only have what, a little over a month left of baseball. Like
crazy.
You only get 60 games. Yeah, it's insane.
66 games or something. Was that 60 games in 66 days or something like that? Some crazy ass number. And
Right.
and we talked about this yesterday. The trade deadline's coming up, but you can only pick off the rosters now, and the secondary roster, which is like for the Yankees, it's the Scranton team. You can't go down to single A and low A to make trades now. It's whatever's on this live roster now is all you can trade.
I think it's fair that way, right? Especially with this funky year.
I agree. I think the Yankees need to get. Hap's got to go. I mean, they just got rid of his. They skipped his last start. He's got to go.
Bring
Put
Garcia.
put Sanchez, Hap, and throw in Andujar. I don't care. Send him to Pittsburgh.
How
Pittsburgh.
about Luis Avila? He looks phenomenal off the pen, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I talked about this the other night. Why the hell are we still pitching Luis Sessa? He sucks.
I mean, he's had
You
some
know
good
what?
times, though.
I think Boone likes him because he gives him a lot of innings. But yeah, he hasn't looked good this year.
No.
He looked good down in AAA though. He looked great.
Well, yeah, he's a professional minor leaguer. That's where he needs to stay. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, Jonathan Loaiza looked brilliant the other night. His fastball, the changeup combination was just lights out. I mean, he 97 to like 84. It's hard to touch.
Yeah, I like him off the pen, especially with Canely out now. I think with him and the combination of Chad Green, because Chad Green looks lights out. So I like that combo. I think I'm a little worried about Britton. I think we're overplaying Britton.
He scares me.
Way too much.
Dude, he scares me. I don't like him as a closer. I'd rather have freaking Chad Green as a closer.
I love Chad Green.
Britton scares me, man. He throws too many balls in the dirt, and he always falls behind in the count, and he always walks people.
Well, he's looked great as a closer. I mean,
I disagree.
he's looked great so far.
He's
looked great.
Dude, he scared the crap out of me the other night against the Braves.
I know, but he did it. He closed it. That sinker's no joke.
Oh, yeah, I
He's
know
doing
it's
it.
no joke, but you know what? When you walk the first batter and then you give a base hit and then you want to actually start pitching, dude, that drives me nuts.
Who else would you feel, honestly, right now comfortable? Because I don't see Chapman coming back toward, I think, maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, if we're lucky.
Well, he's thrown
I
in
think they're
Scranton.
gonna I know, but I think they're being
Who?
careful with him,
Chapman.
Chappie.
Uh,
But who would you trust down there?
Man, Chad Green, I like him. Jonathan Loaiza, what I saw the other night.
The thing is with Chad Green, you got what? Fastball, slider, and change?
Yeah. Well, you think about it, Mo only had a cutter.
A cutter that no one could hit for some reason, though.
I know.
I was trying to see how well Dylan Betances has been doing for the Mets. He's got a
How has he been doing?
6.7 ERA right now.
No, he's
7 games played. He's only got 6 Ks.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Mets, man. They have a really, really good rotation
They
on
had
paper.
such a good team. You have DeGrom who's doing amazing, and then Stroman opts out. Cespedes just leaves, doesn't even tell the team
Yeah.
who started off hot.
He went missing. and then on top of that, they're trying to sell the team.
jeez. What else could go? I mean, they did win. They did beat the Nats today, though.
They're only 9-11. They're third, but it's like you have Cespedes who
Weak
comes
division,
back.
though.
You have Cespedes come back who looks like he's probably gonna have a good season. And he just dips.
You know what? I said that the NL East was going to be the best division. And it's a joke what's going on, man. Philly's 5-8, Washington 6-9. You know, it's
And
it's
all
crazy.
of them have amazing talent too.
They do.
But they're only 3.5 games out. That's what's weird.
And you had the Marlins, who everyone said was the worst team ever. And somehow they're in first place.
That's insane.
But you know what?
I still can't believe that.
You know what? They're in first place and the run differential is only 6. That's it, 6. They scored 60. They gave up 54.
Wow.
I don't get it. I think this division is for Philly and Atlanta up for grabs. I just don't know how they're not. I mean, Atlanta's what? They're over double digits in wins, right?
They're 11-9. They're 11-9, and they're a
But
game
it
back.
doesn't matter because of Miami's win percentage. Oh my god.
Well, Miami
that's
missed a bunch of games in the
Yeah,
beginning.
Miami's only played 12 games. They're going to have a lot of doubleheaders coming up, which means it's going to be a lot of L's.
Well, Philly's in last right now, 5-8.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, I think the Phillies are actually beating Baltimore, aren't they? Nope, they're losing.
Yeah, what's
9
the score on
no,
that right
no, they're losing 9-2.
9-2.
9-2. They were winning 2-0.
My brother's gonna be sick right now. He's a big Phillies fan.
Yeah, I saw the other day because I was tired of people saying that the Pirates, they're one of those teams that they can't spend money. People like the Yankees have all this money. The Pirates, they're 4-13 right now, and me and Noah looked up the one day what their biggest contract because it came out the other day. They have a lot of money. They just don't spend. The biggest contract they ever give out was like $30 million.
Well, you know who
They just don't use their money.
You know who did also the Pirates have who I'd take in a heartbeat? Derek Holland.
He's not bad.
He is lights out pitching. I would take Derek Holland in a heartbeat.
He's been around a while too.
Yeah. He is. He's an older pitcher, but I
Yeah.
mean, you can get him for this year, package whatever, Gardner maybe.
That's just like a.
I'm trying to give away one of my favorite players.
I wouldn't give Gardner up. He's been a Yankees whole life. Why would you do that to him?
Yeah, I think he only signed a 1-year deal too, right?
Yeah.
No, let's face it,
Wasn't a multi or anything.
he's done after this year.
Unless
Yeah, I
he
agree.
starts
I think-
getting hot again, puts up 20 home runs again.
Well, he does
He's
get
streaky.
hot towards the end of the season, but I mean, he looks checked out. I don't know about you guys, but he looks checked out. He's not even seeing the ball well.
No, he's not seen the ball well lately, but it is what it is.
Yeah. As you get older, your vision gets worse. I know that firsthand. But I think that it's time. I think you got to move on. The key is they definitely have to sign DJ LeMahieu to a long-term contract extension.
He's coming up.
And I like Talkman out there. Talkman looks pretty good. He looks really comfortable in left field.
Yeah.
Talkman's a quiet stud, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
You know what? Everyone thought last year was just going to be a fluke, that he's just had a great year, and he really came back and he's putting it together. So I think, you got to reward these guys. And if Frazier stays hot,
Sure.
I don't think you can take him out of the lineup just like this, Tim.
I don't think you
Like,
can
You
either.
can't do what you did
No,
last
no
year.
He's
way.
gonna produce. He's gonna produce, man. He has such amazing quick hands. It's unreal.
Yeah, his bat speed is just amazing. And,
Yeah, I agree, and especially with Judge and Stanton, you don't know
I mean, could you imagine
how
that
these injuries are
outfield?
going to linger.
Imagine Judge comes back if Judge, Hicks, and Frazier. Like, first of all of them have cannons.
does Tauchman play center field?
I think they play him in left and right. I don't know.
I've only seen them in left and right.
I think
haven't seen them in
when
center
he
yet.
comes in and Hicks goes out, I think Gardner shifts over to center, doesn't he?
Yeah, but Hicks is another
Yeah,
one, man. Hicks
that's his
is
natural position.
I didn't like the extension for Hicks. I never did. I think that was a bad extension as well.
I don't mind Hicks. I don't mind.
Yeah,
Hicks.
I love Hicks.
He's
I
a
like
great
Hicks a lot.
defender, and I think he has a pretty solid at bat. It's just he's getting a little cold right now.
Yeah, the guy's only played over 100 games once in
I
his
get it.
career.
I get it. He's had the
coming
injury
off
bug.
That injury, yeah. So
Yeah, it's what,
I get
Tommy
that.
John? He had Tommy John
No,
surgery
Yeah.
or something.
I thought it was a back
Yeah.
Tommy
injury.
John. No.
no, it was Tommy John. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Didi, right? Didi came back, and it took him a little while to get hot.
Yeah.
Good for Didi too, man. I love him in the red.
Yeah, I'm happy he's at least close to home. We can
Yeah.
still watch him.
I miss. I mean, obviously, I miss him in the blue,
Of course.
but I don't know.
You
But
know
it's
what?
good that when fans are able to go back to games and we play the Phillies, it'll be good to see him.
I'll tell you what's really surprising me. Bryce Harper, batting 341. By now, he's usually like 220, sucking.
You know what about damn time?
Well,
he's getting paid a lot of money. You got to produce somewhere. You got to be productive for the team. And
Yeah.
last year wasn't an off year for him, but
Wasn't
with
the
that
best.
massive contract, you got to produce, man. You got to be the leader of that team. And
Well, I always
you're in a-
feel like when you get that huge contract, and usually your first year isn't the best. There's a lot of pressure that goes into that huge contract.
Mhm. Right.
well, Mike, what have you been thinking of the podcast? I mean, he has some pretty big guests on lately.
For me, I'm one of your biggest fans, guys. I really think you guys have done, you guys have shown how you can just start literally from the bottom, just a simple podcast. No, I mean it.
No, I mean I'm laughing. 'cause
He started low at the bottom.
I'm laughing because I know
Started
it's
at the-
true.
Yeah, you guys started at the bottom, and just with the hard work and the dedication that you guys have been able to put in, and the success, I'm really, happy and excited to see what the future brings for you guys, and I think you guys are going to keep rolling. You guys have had amazing guests, people that have been in professional leagues, people that are retired, people that are currently in professional leagues now. So I think you guys should definitely take a moment, give yourselves a pat in the back, and just keep rolling along.
Oh, we got a big one Tuesday.
What you guys got?
Can't tell you. He played for. I'll
tune
give you a
in, huh?
hint. Give you a hint. He played for the Green Bay Packers and he played for the Saints.
Got me on that one.
It's-
I'm gonna have to do some digging.
He's got two. He's got two Super Bowl rings. One with the. Well, he played with the Steelers too. He got two Super Bowl rings. One with the Steelers and
It's
one with
it's
Green
not like
Bay.
a huge interview like some of the guys we found, but it's still nice. But people don't realize too how much.
Ty's trying to downplay it. I think it's a great interview.
People don't realize too, like there's just some days, like even though we only do this twice a week, that you just don't feel like doing it. Like
Nah.
podcasts are fun to do. They're fun, like especially when you come up with the idea, like, yo, let's make a podcast. It's gonna be fun.
It takes
when
work,
you've been
man.
working all day or doing something, you're like, oh man, I gotta go record. Like you just want to relax and just sit down. Cause it's a hassle, man. You can't just spit some. You gotta come up with some notes and know what you're gonna talk about. And it's sometimes, man, sometimes it's a burden.
But
man.
I tell you
love
what,
it.
it's been a complete honor to talk to people like Wade Phillips. Hugh Jackson was awesome.
Especially when they give you
Hugh-
30 minutes.
Hugh Jackson, we could have talked to him for 2 hours. He just didn't want to get off. He just was so happy with it.
Hey man, I mean, honestly, this is how you just continue your growth and expansion. You guys never know, you never know what the future holds, and the
No.
more and more guests that you bring on, the more exposure that you guys get.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
who knows, maybe you guys can quit your jobs one of these days. I mean, that's
that'd be nice, man.
So.
Waking up from your bed and saying,
Yeah,
honey, I'm
man,
going to work,
so-
and you sit down in a chair and just talk sports.
Absolutely right, your own little morning show. So
But-
for me, man, honestly, just keep grinding it out.
Yeah.
You guys are doing fantastic, and you guys know that I'll be tuning in every week.
To be honest with you, though, I honestly like talking like this with friends. It's laid back.
These
you know what I mean?
these are the people that got us here. It started off with people
I
that
love-
were willing to come on.
I love these kind of conversations. Like I could sit out in the back deck, crack open a beer, turn on the computer, and just put the mics up and talk about
That's it.
sports. And this is, I mean, I love it. I really love this. I mean, talking with the guests, it's fine. It's great. It gets us views, but it's stressful. It really is, because You say one wrong thing, man. You piss them off.
Yep.
You're gonna get the hang up. You know.
That's it. Yep, I hear you, man. I hear you. So, but I mean, with confidence comes a lot of courage and a lot of education. So, as you guys continue to do these podcasts and bringing in these guests, it'll just become just second nature for you guys, and it'll be muscle memory. So,
dude,
be all right.
We had Papelbon scheduled twice, and he blew us off like minutes before the podcast came on. And I'm like,
oh, really?
Damn, man, I really wanted to talk to him too. And he said he would still come on, but I'm not gonna kiss his ass to come on. But I would love.
He was
to
a
talk to
Boston
him.
player. We don't care about him.
But I would still love to talk to the mindset of coming in and pitching and winning in the World Series, man. He won the World Series for Boston.
I remember all those messages he sent me about the excuses. I can just picture the Rock meme where he goes, "It doesn't matter."
Yeah, when he calls up, but then when he finally does call in, we'll say, "Who was this? It doesn't matter," and hang up on him. But Mike, it's been a complete pleasure talking to you, man. You're always welcome on this podcast. We love talking Yankees. We'll talk. I don't want to talk about the Sixers. I think the Sixers are going to get swept by Boston.
Yeah, you guys know I'm a Sixers fan. I don't feel confident. I think Brett Brown needs to go. It's really the moral of the story for me.
Yeah, you know what? I just think
too much talent.
We talked about this last night. I think that Jimmy Butler deal screwed us. We gave away so much for him, then he walked. We had all the pieces in place. We were going in the right direction. We had a great bench, and then we just gave it away. When we had Covington and we had Ilyasova guy, and we had all these guys on the bench that could play.
That's why Brett needs to go. I mean, Jimmy Butler made it pretty clear. He didn't want to play in that coaching format and in that style. He wanted to be on the floor, and Brett Brown just didn't know how to manage these players. And
well, I would not be surprised if you either see Embiid or Simmons go next year in a trade, a huge blockbuster trade.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to see it. Obviously, none of us do. But at some point, either Brett Brown has to go or one of these two stars have to go, because obviously he can't manage these guys.
If I had to choose, it's Embiid.
I think so too.
Because Simmons is more powerful. Simmons brings a dynamic approach to the game.
Hey, I saw the package deal that Cleveland offered for Simmons, and I'll take that in a heartbeat.
What'd they offer him?
They offered like 2 point guards, they offered a center, and they offered draft picks. I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. I don't remember the names off the top of my head.
I'd rather keep Embiid just because when he's playing well, he's one of the best centers in the league. The problem that I have with Simmons, even though he's very dynamic, for some reason I don't think he'll ever develop a jump shot.
No.
I mean, did you see that video of him in the gym, though, shooting threes like he was Steph Curry?
Yeah, man, anybody could do that. He probably shot like 150 times and made like 4 of them and recorded the 4.
Edited the other ones out. But you know what?
Come on.
And let's face it, the Houston Rockets are proving that you can win going small. So if they did trade Embiid, you can play with a bunch of small guys and still win.
Yeah, and then what the heck is his name? Hartford just looks confused. Like I don't. It just doesn't work. Like you bring in Al Hartford, and you're like, oh my god, now we're looking really good, and now we look even worse than we did last year.
Dude, you know what? He's older. He's older, and you can see it in his legs. It's not the same guy that was with Boston. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but we'll see, man. It's gonna be fun to watch. But yeah, I agree. I'll be very surprised if we make it out of the first round.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. I don't think we have the team. But
who do we got? We got Boston, right?
Boston first round, man.
Boston don't look like they're slowing down either.
No, I don't think we have enough. We don't have enough shooting on our team, and that's what's gonna kill us. Harris is never hot. He's one game he's good, the next day he sucks. Richardson.
This is where JJ Redick is missed, man. JJ Redick was that guy for us.
Yeah. Richardson, he's so inconsistent, and what happened to the defense? I mean, all these teams, look at the scores in the bubble. I mean, like 120s, 130s. There's no defense at all in the NBA.
Well, before the whole bubble thing happened, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware of this, but we weren't a good road team. We were probably one of the worst.
Oh, yeah.
We only played well at home, so I think that's still making a factor for the Sixers. We just don't play good outside of Philly.
No. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Go Flyers. That's all I got to say is go Flyers.
Hey, man, that's crazy how they're already in the postseason. When does that start?
It already did. We won Game 1 against Montreal. Game 2's tomorrow, 3 o'clock tomorrow. Hottest team in hockey right now is the Flyers.
Hey, they deserve it, man. They've been through a lot of rough years, so I hope they pull it off.
Only team I'm going to wish for a championship in Philly.
Stop that. We're not going there right now.
All right, Mike, we're gonna end this because 4:30 comes early.
Whoa. That one time you work?
Yeah, get up early in the morning, man. Yeah, gotta get up and make that money.
We appreciate you coming on, though, Mike.
Hey, absolutely, man. You guys have a great night. God bless.
God
Hey,
bless.
God bless, man.
See, I love that. It's always fun just to talk and BS sports, man. It really is.
I love our goodbye speeches every podcast.
Why?
This is what happens. We sit down. Man, dude,
And then
I
next
love
thing you know-
conversations
next thing
like
you know,
that. You know,
15
we
minutes.
love you guys. You know, and then we
15
talk for like 10 minutes,
20 minutes. But we're gonna end this
We're gonna end this.
eventually. But Tuesday we have a guest coming on. We might have one Thursday.
It's early 9 p.m. Nice, beautiful night.
I remember he used to say, it's 8 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Remember, it used to be 9 p.m. It'd still be a little light out. Now it's dark.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna end this. Hope you guys follow us on all the platforms: Twitter,
Continue to
Facebook,
share that love,
Instagram.
guys.
Share love. And this is a shout out to all you Twitter fans. Thank you very much for the follows.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. Anybody wants to come on, this podcast is open to anybody. Just hit us up on any of the platforms. We love talking sports. We won't talk politics because politics just suck. And wish you all a good night.
Have a great one, guys.
Peace.